Hey y'all, welcome to Boundaries and Grace.
Hey y'all, I'm Taylor Chandler. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and personal development coach, helping people who want two things: to be the best person and to have the best relationship. Y'all, today I will walk you through models that I've created to help you evaluate yourself and your relationship more clearly. These models are not magic formulas, they're tools. They're going to give you a framework to think more clearly, to spot patterns, to take action in ways that lead to better outcomes. And you'll find a downloadable copy. It's totally free of all of these models in the link in the description of this episode. So you can follow along, study them, and use them in your own life. And y'all, this is V1, Volume 1. So there are 9 models here today, and this will be continuously updated. So keep checking back for that. These models help to define reality. They help us to think, get a grip on reality. Okay. It helps us to see what's going on in a more tangible or practical or concrete way. When we're talking about self development and relational development, it's very abstract. And I often use gravity as an example. Gravity is this thing that we can't see, this intangible force that's always at work. So are our personal dynamics, the things that are happening within us and how it's affecting the world around us. So are our relational dynamics, the things that are happening between us, between me and you, and how that affects the world around us and the space between us. So just like gravity helps us to define this intangible force, these other types of models that I've created for you are going to help you to define what forces are at play with you and at play with you and others. All right, let's start with the ability willingness model. This helps you identify whether someone is struggling because they lack ability or because they lack willingness. Let me show you a picture. The ability willingness model. Y'all, I'm getting used to StreamYard, so I'm gonna be clicking around some things and the edit's gonna be a little bit funny, I think, because I'm learning what looks best on the screen. And I really appreciate your feedback. So if this is working for you, if you like the visuals, I heard some good feedback about the visuals already. If you like it, or if you like the layout, or if you don't like certain layouts, I really appreciate your comments. Let's start with this ability willingness model. This helps you identify whether someone is struggling because they lack ability or because they lack willingness. It's simple but powerful for knowing how to affect change. We'll go into detail more with these as we go through this episode. But then next up, we'll talk about the energy matrix. This shows how energy levels and energy quality affect your behavior and your interactions. There are 4 zones: drained, flooded, recovery, and flow. This is going to help you to regulate rather than overreact. Next is the communication model. Passive aggressive communication model. Okay, I'm gonna edit that communication style model. I think I'm gonna actually relabel this passive aggressive style model. That's how I have it in the document that you can download in the description. So the passive aggressive communication style model, this helps to map out where your communication lands. So we're measuring whether you're closed or open, and whether you're being indirect or direct. So we're identifying if you are avoidant or passive, if you're hostile, accommodating, people-pleasing type, or assertive, which is really where we want to be. This helps you to see that even silence is a form of communication and not always a healthy one, like in the avoidant type. It also helps us to see that being brutally honest can be hostile, overly direct and aggressive. And that is also a type of communication that doesn't facilitate collaboration, okay, which is really what we need in relationships. We're going to keep understanding, y'all, that there are some things that work, and then there are some things that work in relationship, and it's not the same thing, okay? Telling the truth works. The truth, I believe, is medicine. I really believe that. The truth works. In relationship, the way you tell the truth. Come on, I feel like I want to preach this. This is fun. I miss teaching whenever I take a little break. Y'all, I had my birthday, and then I had just come off a break. Then I had my birthday, and then unfortunately, my grandmother on my father's side passed away just a few days before that. And then I just had a really, really, really wild week. Like I had the most intense week of my life, I would say. And so sorry to drop that on you, but I'm putting this in I get excited when I teach, and I haven't been doing that very much. And so I'm trying to get back into my flow. So please, y'all, I know that the videos have been inconsistent. The flow has just been difficult to get back in flow. I have a lot going on. I've got a lot going on. So it really excites me to be able to bring this to you today. I hope it's helpful. And let's keep going. Let's keep going. I get excited. You see, that's why I had to stick to the script. Oh, and let me finish my thought, y'all. It's not the truth is medicine. The truth does work. But the way you tell the truth in your relationship can make all the difference, y'all. And we will talk about that. We're going to keep talking about that. From there, we are going to talk about the chicken and egg dynamic. Okay, you heard me talk about this in the responsibility and blame episode. I created this visual model for you. We'll cover the chicken and the egg dynamic. This shows how couples get stuck in cycles of blame, each partner justifying their behavior based on the others. So my bad behavior becomes justified because I refer to your bad behavior. Okay, this also shows the exit path, and the exit path is through responsibility and empathy. Responsibility, which in accountability is wrapped up in that as well, and empathy for the other person's experience of you. Then we'll go to the CCC model. This is a diagnostic tool, triangular shape model, okay? A diagnostic tool, diagnosing the root of the problem, whether a problem is about your character, about contingent factors like relationships and systems, or about circumstantial factors like stress and environment. I'm going to show you how each model, I want to talk to you about how to use the model, the benefits of the model, the uses for each model. So right now I'm just giving you like the really brief overview, and those things I just mentioned, uses, examples, benefits, the purpose of each model are all written out for you in the free downloadable link in the description of this episode. The CCC model is here to help you diagnose problems, and that's very important. I will tell you why later. The authentic self versus the external image model. The authentic self versus the external image that you present to the world. Okay. This highlights the distance between who you truly are, your real self, that's on the right-hand side, and the image you project to the world, ego image. Okay. The bigger the gap, the more symptoms of anxiety and depression tend to show up. So the less I'm like myself, the less I am like my true self, not the version of you that you know me to be, but who I really am. The further away I get from who I really am, the more experience of anxiety and depression symptoms I'm going to experience in my life. Then we've got the masculine feminine polarity model. Do y'all like this so far? Tell me in the comments. Then we've got the masculine feminine polarity model. This one illustrates how masculine and feminine energies interact, and how the overlap can create either harmony or tension in a relationship, depending on the quality of the interaction. And finally, the time cost model. You heard me talk about this in the preventative maintenance episode. The time cost model. This one shows how the longer you wait to address a problem. Let's make this even bigger. Let's play with it a little bit. This one, see that? This one shows how the longer you wait to address a problem, the more costly it becomes to repair. Okay. An honest conversation can prevent years of resentment or broken trust. Now, remember, you don't have to memorize all of this right now. I've put all of these models into a downloadable guide that you can find in the description of the episode. That way, you'll always have them at hand for self-evaluation and relationship evaluation. All right, y'all, let's get deeper into these models. I am really excited about this. I'm usually not this excited to do pre-recorded videos, but there's something about this. I think this is going to be really helpful for you. So I feel a little bit energized here. All right, y'all, let's go deeper into this model. How about it? Ability, nope, 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 nope. All right. Ability willingness model. So this is a matrix. Okay. This is a matrix. And you might remember that from your math classes in high school. Okay. And some of you don't, but don't worry, no worries, no worries. On the x-axis, y'all, we have ability. On the y-axis, we have willingness. Ability, y'all, is a mix of knowledge and understanding. You can know a thing, but do you understand what that thing means for you? Do you know how to apply the thing? Right? You can know people who have read the book Attached about attachment styles, right? Why are they still acting like avoidant though? Why are they still acting anxious though? So, right, you can know people know about emotional intelligence, but do you understand where you are on the emotionally intelligent spectrum? Like, do you know how it relates to you? Do you understand the concepts and how to actually work them out in your own life? So we need knowledge and understanding in order to be able. And then when we're to be willing, we need to have desire and motivation. We need both. I can't just want a thing. I have to have the drive to do a thing. All right. So we've got willingness on the y-axis. We've got ability on the x-axis. You can have, so I'm going to explain every quadrant again. We're going to be talking about this further as we go. Let's start with the worst. Let's do bad news first. All right. Let's do bad news first. Low ability and low willingness, bottom left corner. Get me back up here. Get me back up here. Bottom left corner. Stuck. All right. Low willingness, low ability. Red. Stop right here. This is the problem. You don't want to do it and you don't know how to do it. You just totally a drain. Now, if you become, let's say, I want to come over to the right-hand side. Now you know better. Let's say now you know better. Let's say in relationship, we're having dysfunction of whatever type. And then light is shed on what the problem is. So now we have knowledge. All right. And let's say we go even deeper, you understand how that applies to you. Let's use the attachment style example. We understand we're having this cat mouse push pull dynamic because I am anxious and you are avoidant. And now we have knowledge, and then I understand what it means for me. I understand that not only do anxious people and avoidant people sometimes or even often find each other, but I understand that I am the anxious one, or I understand that I am the avoidant one. And now I understand how it impacts you. I understand. Do I want to change it? Okay, is a different question. Now, when I have a high ability and low willingness, I'm resistant. And this is a confusing type of person. That's why it's yellow. Okay. These people send kind of like mixed signals. You can be smart people. All right. They can have the tools, the books, the access, but they don't want to change. Sometimes we see how someone doesn't want to change because they have spurts, but they don't maintain traction. I know better, but I know better, but for some reason, whatever reason, I do not want to do better. Now I'm going to save somebody right here and someone else is going to ignore it, but someone is going to hear it. It doesn't matter why someone does not want to do it. What matters is they don't want to do it. I'm going to save somebody right there. You try to figure out all kinds of stuff. Is it their family, their childhood? Is it stress? Is it work? Is it what is it? Because you have high willingness and you really want to be there. Come on. I feel like I'm talking to somebody right now. You want to be there. And because you want to be there, you start revving up the engine for both of y'all. It's not going to work. You're going to be burnt out, frustrated, and exhausted. Someone has to want it on their own. Let's go up to someone that actually does want it. Hello, high willingness. Let's go to the top left, learning. Another yellow zone. I'm going to tell you why, but this person is highly willing. But we also have mixed signals with this person because they're unable to make the change. They're unable to maintain the traction or do the depth of change that would be required to satisfy you in this relationship or to stabilize this relationship for both of y'all. So they have high willingness. They want to do it. They know what they want. They have the motivation to get there. They've got the drive to do it, but they lack the skills or the understanding of how to apply the skills or the tool set or the concept to their life in order to make the change. I believe that people who are more are high have high willingness and do not have the equipment are a better option for you than the resistant ones. And again, one of the reasons, well, actually, not again, I haven't said this at all. One of the purposes, which you'll find in the guide, one of the purposes of this model is to determine where someone is at, where are you at, and also where is someone at. There's a change that you want to happen. Where is their drive? And are they under equipped or do they have the equipment, but they're unmotivated to apply what they know? Someone with high willingness is a better option for you than someone with low willingness. Desire and motivation. That's why you hear things like in hiring, you hear things like attitude is more important than someone's education. We've heard that. You've heard that for years. Okay, I've heard that for a long time. It used to be that way. I used to think a lot more about IQ, someone's intelligent quotient. Things like the SAT, the ACT are about someone's IQ, what they're able to do intellectually. But then we realized, okay, that a bunch of smart people that don't want to do the right thing, okay, or don't want to do what the boss says to do. They don't have the desire, the motivation to do it. And so then it became we turned it on its head, or perhaps we turned it right side up, where the emphasis has been on the attitude and someone's desire, because we can equip you, but we can't motivate you. That has to come from you internally. And then we've got our green light. Oh my goodness, we love this. We love a green light, someone with high willingness and high ability. That is where the change happens. Someone is highly willing, someone has the willingness and the ability to make that change. Now, of course, ideally you get green always. That's what we want, right? When something's not going the way that we want it to go, we looking for that green immediately, especially if you're somebody like me, you want performance. It's okay. We want to make this thing go. It's like, hey, chop, chop. Hey, I know what it is. I know what the issue is. I can see it. We can diagnose it. We in agreement about it. Let's go. What's the problem? Now, we need to back up. We need to slow down. We want to talk about applications of this more and more as we go along. I'm going a little bit too much in depth. You know me. I'm going a little bit too much in depth for this. We got to get through all 8 other models. So I'm going to do less on the other ones. I'm going to try. But I get excited about this stuff. Sometimes we got to reel back and say, like, you know what? I'm not getting the change that I want. But are they learning or are they resistant? Because that is going to inform my next step. Now, y'all, so much more to say about that, y'all, but let's move on to the energy matrix. Let's move on to the energy matrix. Measuring low to high across the x-axis, okay, horizontally, measuring bad to good across the y-axis. Simply, low does not mean bad. High does not mean good. Not all high energy is good energy. Like anxiety, someone who is having a panic attack is experiencing high bad energy. You're flooded. Someone who withdraws completely, stonewalls in a conversation, they're having high energy, flooded, making them withdraw. High energy, I'm overwhelmed, I'm flooded with negative bad energy. All right. Then we can have a drain energy where it's bad energy and it's low. Okay. This isn't as, it's a little bit less red than flooded. This isn't as problematic as a flooded energy where we're experiencing like shutdowns and like kind of a chaotic type of experience. Okay. Chaotic does not always mean loud and frenetic. Chaotic can just mean disorganized, like internally disorganized. I can't think. All right. I can't make sense of my thoughts or my feelings. That's chaotic. Okay. Drained, it's not as high energy, but it's still really bad energy, negative energy, and the energy is low. I feel drained. I know that I have felt significant drain after I've become flooded. So I'm no longer in that super like frenetic state, but I am still feeling negatively. It's just a more muted version of that. Then we've got recovery, where I have good energy, more positive energy, but I'm still low. I need some recovery time. And flow is, again, that top right, high. That's where we love to be. It's good energy, it's positive energy, and it's high energy. It's both productive and it's relaxed. It's in flow. this helps you not to overreact to someone's energetic state, because someone's energy is not their character. Okay, someone's energy is not their intentions. But we do read a lot from someone's energy, whether you're using we're actually put language on it, or you're just intuitively you're reading and reacting. So this helps to have empathy for what the other person might be experiencing, right? It's easy to react to someone's floodedness, their shutdown, or their aggress, or their like over pursuit. When they're flooded, them getting overly excited and anxious, it's easy to react to that, but we can have empathy and say, wow, you're experiencing a flood of feelings right now, and that's not really you. That you is below that. You is below the overwhelm. The overwhelm is something that's overcome you. You're under that. You're under that. It's in the stillness. Goodness, I don't want to get in that today. Maybe I should. You're in the stillness. And so when we got a lot of frenetic energy, that's not really you. So when I can better discern what's happening in that moment, I can have empathy for you. I can respond better to you rather than react to you. So I just want to give that bit of an example on how that becomes this kind of thing becomes relevant in your relationship, and also for yourself. I think this is good to help to read you. Let's move on to the communication model. Measuring indirect to direct across the matrix, the passive aggressive communication matrix. I'll rename the title there. You'll see it though in the guide. You've got indirect to direct across the x-axis horizontally. You've got closed to open across the y-axis. I think this is so important, y'all. I really like, the reason why I like these models that I've created for you is because of the nuance of it. Because I know that for me, and you as I'm talking, I want you to be able to start identifying yourself. I know that for me, I'll say, hey, I'm being direct. You should thank me. And some of y'all have heard me say it. I don't say that to someone's face, but I'm like, I have that feeling where it's like, hey, I'm telling you the truth. I'm being direct. Who else gonna tell you? If you didn't know this, I mean, you would be lost and confused. Well, also maybe you wouldn't be emotionally distraught. Like, I don't need to hurt you. Okay. I need to be aware of that. Because if in order for me to get the truth to you, you have to experience pain. I can do a better job. Now, look, listen, y'all. Some of us are going to value, people are different. Some of us, me, you, it might be you, might not be you. Some of us value truth so much. And I'm one of these people, we value truth so much. It's like, just tell me, please, just tell me. Because the faster, this kind of stuff we say, the faster I can know the truth, the faster I can deal with it and be in reality. And I know that that's where the key is in reality. Only being in reality can I affect change. Only in reality. And truth gets me to reality. So however you got to tell me quickly. Okay. Jesus said, let me preach it. When Jesus knew that Judas would betray him at the table, Judas at the table, and we know a betrayal is coming. They looking around, the disciples looking around like, well, who it gonna be? Who is it? Who has it in their heart to betray Jesus? We know it's one of us. Who is it? Jesus knows it's Judas. He says, whatever you are gonna do it quickly. Do it quickly. So I won't get into all that. But some of us, y'all, we say, just hurt me. If it's going to get me to the goal, just hurt me. The faster I can get there, just do it quickly. Y'all, some of us really value that. And other people, and this is not a better or worse thing. This is just a different set of like values, personality traits, that kind of thing. It's not necessarily about character. It's like a character issue. This is the issue in like, or rather a difference in like values and preferences, the way that I'm going to frame it. Some people are more concerned with harmony. They want the truth, but in a way that doesn't threaten the stability of the relationship. Because If you know, you know. Truth can threaten the stability of a relationship, even when you know that it's in order to get the relationship to keep functioning. Just telling the truth in such a direct and hostile way can actually destabilize the relationship. So this is not about abandoning the truth. This is about learning how to manage the truth better, because there is a way. So if we're looking at this communication style model, we want to we can see that, hey, I might be being direct, and I'm also, though I recognize that I'm closed, like this way is the only way to do it, and if you don't do it, there's going to be a big consequence. Okay, or this is the only way that people are supposed to be, or this is the best way. I don't want to hear nothing else. Okay, that's closed. And I'm not gonna keep going. That's closed. So we're direct, closed. Direct and open is assertive. It leaves space. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna open up your relationships for those of y'all like me who have been in that bottom right too long. Your relationships cannot sustain that kind of intensity. Okay, that kind of, I don't care how right you are. I don't care how right you are. And see, this is me in the bottom right now. I don't care how right you are. I'm closed and I'm being very direct to the point where I'm not going to hear something else. Now, this works some people have heard me say this over time. I hope I'm not getting too nuanced in this. I'm just kind of going. Some of y'all have heard me say over time that works for podcasts because it's a one-way communication. I don't have to consider your personality or your life history. I don't know you. Like I know some of you listening to this, right? But I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everyone that's listening to this. And so I'm not going to consider all these different ways that I got to talk to you. But when we're in session, or if I'm leading a group, well, now it's very important that I read the room and I understand what it is that you need. Okay. And I communicate to you in an assertive way where we're not going to abandon the values or the goals or that kind of thing. We're not going to abandon that. We're also going to leave space for your process, for your personality, and also even for your preferences. Okay. In other words, it's not worth it to be direct and hostile when it puts the relationship at stake. Now, so assertive is where we go. When we're indirect and closed, we're avoidant. We're withholding, we're silent, we're avoiding conflict. So a lot of times people on the more avoidant side, they look at the hostile people like the hostile people are the enemy. Well, avoidant people, you are also causing issues, just not in such an overt way. Okay, passivity, when you stonewall and when you stonewall, you're closed. When you remove yourself, you're avoiding and you're closed, you are indirectly communicating. And you are causing issues just like the overly hostile person is, in a different way. Then we've got the accommodating type, who is indirect and open. You're nice. You're very nice. You're very nice, but we really don't know how you actually feel. You're nice, but we can't trust you. You're nice, but we can't trust you because we really don't know how you really feel. You the one that ends up in the bottom right, okay? When it's gone too far, you go swoop, right? That's a swoop. I need to make another model with a ramp going right from accommodating to hostile, because suddenly, y'all, those nice ones, you nice people pleasing until your real needs, values, preferences start stirring up. And now you're frustrated. Now you're pissed. Okay. Or you stonewall and you disappear and no one knows why, because we never heard from you. So our goal, y'all, is to be up in that assertive zone. There are reasons why people do all of these things, but and regardless, though, the point of this model, one of the points of these models is to show the better way. And then we can talk about how to get there. We can talk about why you employ certain strategies and why it feels safer to avoid than to be assertive because of the nature of the dynamic of the relationship. And we need to fix that so that everybody feels safe to be assertive. So All of that stuff matters, but the point being, one of the points of these models is to show a better way. So regardless of all of the regardless of all the things, we know that we're trying to get to a particular place, and all the roadblocks to getting there are important as well. And we can work through those things without ignoring the fact that there is a better way overall. Let's move on to chicken or the egg. Y'all, I keep trying to reel it back, but I'm just really excited about this. And I'm excited to hear your feedback about it, honestly. So please, like, leave a comment. Chicken or the egg dynamic. Let me try to speed it up here. This is a responsibility. This is a cycle of blame that is very, very common. I don't think any relationship avoids this. I think if you can understand this, you're going to understand a lot of relationship issues, or rather how they keep happening. Like, this is so common. So this is helpful for when conflict just seems to go in circles and it feels like both people feel kind of like the victim, both people feel wronged. And it's really difficult to find the origin of the conflict because it's all cause and effect. Like, my behavior was caused by yours, and your behavior that I reacted to was caused by mine. And it's difficult to find the origin point. And the point is, the origin point doesn't matter. Okay, the origin point doesn't matter when we're trying to get out of this loop. Not to say that there aren't behaviors that do need to change. Okay, there are probably behaviors on both sides that need to change in order for the relationship to move more smoothly. But in order to solve those particular problems, we have to get out of this cycle of blame. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a sequence here. We have to step out of the cycle. We have to exit the cycle in order to actually solve whatever the issues are. We have to come out of this cycle. Nothing gets solved in the circle. So this helps to clarify how each partner justifies their behavior as a reaction to the other. It highlights how cycles of blame perpetuate conflict without resolution. It's just, at this point, talking and being antagonizing to each other. It's irritating. It's a waste of time. It emphasizes that breaking the cycle requires accountability. It's responsibility and accountability got to go together here. Emphasizing that breaking the cycle requires accountability, requires responsibility. It does not require proving who started it. Okay, so we want to shift from blame to accountability. We want to help you to break repetitive cycles that feel unsolvable, and this opens the door to healthier patterns of intimacy and repair. Okay, I'll give you an example. A couple struggles with a lack of intimacy. One withdraws because they feel unwanted. The other withholds affection because they feel disconnected. Okay, one's withdrawn because they feel like the other person doesn't want them. The other withholds because they feel disconnected. So see how I could say, I did this because you did that, or you're not doing this, and so that's why I did that. And both people could use the same basic argument. Each points to the other as the cause, creating a self-reinforcing loop of blame. We can't solve the intimacy problem if we don't get out of the circle. We got to get out of the circle. We got to exit through taking responsibility, taking accountability for what I have brought to this experience. I need to be able to understand you on the other side and where you're coming from, even if I don't feel the same way, even if I don't agree with your line of reasoning. I can understand how you got there. You're probably not dating or married to a crazy person. Okay, so they have some kind of reasoning on how they got there. I can empathize with that. And that's how we can solve that intimacy issue. But we can't do it if we just blame each other. Step out of the circle to solve the problem. All right, obviously easier said than done. Okay, don't I know it? Now let's go to the CCC model. How is this going for y'all so far? Usually this is the time where we would be in the live right now. I'd be getting live feedback from you. All right, now we need to, here we go. All right, this is the CCC model, y'all. Character at the top, contingent on the bottom left, circumstantial on the bottom right. The CCC model, diagnosing the root of a problem. So it's like you could put the problem in the middle, and we wonder, this is to diagnose, where is this problem coming from? Is it, and first let me say why this is important. Let me say why this is important. because it helps to clarify whether challenges come from within the person, the situation, or external circumstances. If I don't know where the problem is coming from, I cannot direct my resources. I cannot direct my strategy in the best way to solve the problem. If it's a character issue and I'm trying to solve it, let me show you. Let me tell you more. So the character, we're wondering, is this problem related to my values, my habits, who I am? Is this about me? Or if you were using this to evaluate someone else, is this about them? Is this contingent? Is this about others? Is this problem exist because of something that truly someone or something else? Is this problem dependent on, contingent on something else? Okay. That's not always like absolving yourself of responsibilities. Sometimes that's just reality. Like for example, let me give you an example. Let's say you want to marry someone who has a strong relationship with their siblings, because that to you reflects positive, healthy family dynamics, what you want to create in your own family. So you want to be with someone. So let's say the problem is that your person has strained relationships with their siblings. Well, is that a character issue? Like this person doesn't value family? Or is this contingent on that person's sibling? You see that they've tried to reach out. You see they've tried to make amends, but the person won't answer the phone, or the person has stonewalled them. So the problem of any strange relationship with your sibling isn't a value issue. This person might want, they might want the same things as you. They want a strong family. They are disturbed by the estrangement as well. But the problem endures because it's contingent on the engagement of the sibling. But if I misattribute your estranged familial relationship with an issue with your values, I've misdiagnosed the problem, and I'll come to an inaccurate conclusion or an incomplete conclusion. So that's an example, y'all. Or is this something like circumstantial? It has to do with your environment or context or chance. It's external conditions, okay, that are helping to create this problem. Again, y'all, I think this is important because we, especially people who are like me and have people who, I think this is important, y'all, because when we want people to take accountability, responsibility, but it's not always a them thing. It's not always. Now, we can make the argument that you always have a choice. And I do believe, and this is part of my belief system, that is like bottom line. I have a choice in how I deal with any of these things. Okay, all right. But when you just dive bomb to the bottom line every time and you don't get context, then we lack empathy and compassion. You can't connect with someone where they are at. It's very important. So I think that this one, y'all, I think I'm anticipating this is going to be an underrated model. I think this is going to be underrated because especially when we're frustrated with other people, we really, it's hard to kind of start considering a bunch of other reasons that might be related to the problem, especially when the discomfort is so high, you just want to make a decision. So I think this is underrated. I hope that it's not underutilized, right? I want you to utilize it. This is probably one of those things where you should pull this out when you don't think you should pull it out. Like when it's like, nah, ain't none of that. It's your energy, okay? You want to talk about their energy, right? That's fun to talk about. It's more complex to talk about the context that helped to create somebody's problem. All right. Anyway, I think that's good, y'all. We're almost done. Let's talk about the authentic self versus the image gap model. This is huge. So we have a self that we present to the world. That's our image. Ego is a big word. We'll probably need to do a video just breaking down what ego means, what it is. But we have an image. Let's stick with that for a moment. Let's say we have an image that is projected into the world. When the difference between the difference between the image I present to the world and who I really am, the smaller that gap, the healthier I am. That's health. Who I show up as is who I really am. Right now, I feel like I'm healthy. Like when I'm doing this, y'all, I don't know if you can feel it. I don't know if you can feel it, but I'm in flow when I'm doing this. Like this is health. This me is like who I am. And then it manifests in this work and in the way, in my communication about these issues. So I feel very healthy when I'm doing this. Oh my goodness. The bigger that, now I could be doing the same thing in a way that is very different from who I really am. Okay. I could be communicating in a way that's very different than who I really am, or saying things that don't align with what I really believe, to what? Please other people, probably, or something like that. Or to get some outcome that I don't think I could get on my own, that myself could not generate. I don't believe I could do it. So I got to be someone else. Oh my goodness, I could preach on that. And the bigger that gap between who I present to be and who I really am, the bigger that gap is, where anxiety and depression lives, and it grows in that gap. I've come to understand that through my work with people over these years, and through myself. All right. The bigger that gap, the more anxiety and depressive kind of symptoms I'm going to experience. I really like that. I'm going to keep moving on, y'all. I get too excited. Masculine and feminine polarity. Goodness gracious. We could talk about this for the next 6 hours straight. I might not even need a sip of water. This is big. This is a big one. It's all really big. But look, masculine and feminine polarity. And again, y'all, I know I'm saying so much. I'm just excited. I'm really excited about this, because this is going to help you. It's going to help you to frame things. And these are the types of things that I might not be explicitly talking to someone about this directly, like in their session. We're not pulling up all the graphs. Sometimes now I am. I'm showing you the model. But in understanding this, you're having a frame for how you then see the world and see the dynamics that are at play all the time. So this is going to help. Things aren't just happening. Things are happening in a particular way. And this is going to help you help things become more concrete, definable, touchable, moldable, manageable, practical. I just think this is going to be so helpful. So let me keep going. Masculine and feminine polarity, very important, always at play. Gender exists. Gender exists now, but masculine and feminine are energies, okay? And we all have both. This is such a big conversation. This model Venn diagram, very simple. We've got masculine qualities of structure, direction, focus, etc. Feminine qualities, flow, expression, receptivity, etc. And then we have this polarity space in between, where when we're talking about two individuals, a man and a woman in relationship, they have both masculine and feminine energies at work within them, and then they're interacting with each other. And the quality of that interaction will determine whether you're experiencing harmony or tension, like in a bad way, like negative tension, conflict. And when you gotta understand that I can't go on. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna do the last model, and then I want y'all to tell me which ones you want to hear more about, which ones are really standing out to you. I want you to download the guide in the description. I want you to use it. I want you to tell me what happens. All right, now let's talk about the time cost model. You heard me talk about this when we're talking about preventative maintenance. This is a graph model. So across the x-axis, we are measuring time, how much time has gone by. And then on the y-axis, we're measuring cost. What's it going to cost you? That's tangible and intangible. We're talking about resources, money, energy, space, time, hope. I mean, it costs. Things cost. All right. So this is to help to illustrate that the longer you spend with the problem, not only does the cost get higher, it gets higher in an exponential way. The cost doesn't just go up the longer you delay, it builds, it grows, momentum increases, the mountain gets higher. This doesn't happen like pebble by pebble every day. The bolt, let me say it again. This doesn't happen like drop by drop. This happens drop to drop, to tides, to waves, to a damn near a typhoon up in the top right, damn near a typhoon up there, because it's gone on for so long that it becomes overwhelming and it comes and gets you. It will come to get you. It will come to get you. Okay. So this is to help to illustrate and encourage you to take action early with honest conversations, because when you don't, resentment builds and it can get to a place where the relationship cannot be recovered. So y'all, I think this is really important. I really enjoyed sharing this with you. I really want to hear your feedback. Drop a comment. Y'all, these models are here to help you think better, communicate better, and communicate better with yourself and others. This is a reflection of my mission to help you become the best person and help you build the best relationship possible. And I'm going to keep giving you practical ways to do it. And we're going to keep doing this in a way where more people have access to it. Again, y'all, you can grab the full downloadable guide with these models. It's included in the link. It's totally free. I will be updating this as we continue to go on and doing more presentations of these models, y'all. I'm excited. I hope these tools empower you to deal with reality more effectively and gives you clarity, more growth, and more connection in your life. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to do this with you today. I will see you very soon. Bye.